Right, Cillian. So first lesson there yesterday. So we kind of just did a little bit of everything. So just what I'm going to do in this video is just touch on just a few of those points, and we'll just go through some of the chords we did, some of the lead playing, and some of the strumming variations as well. So we'll just go through some of those more oddball kind of chords, right? So we were saying how to get all the other major and minor chords, if you can bar E and A, major and minor, then you're pretty much covered around the whole fretboard. So, for example, if you wanted, let's say, an F sharp minor chord, get your E minor. And the way it goes is you've got the notes from A to G. They all have a sharp one fret or one semitone above, with the exception of B and E. So B just goes straight to C, E goes straight to F. So there's E minor, played with my two small fingers, third and fourth fingers. If I take it up one, that's F minor, F sharp minor, G minor, and so on, right? Now let's say you wanted a D minor, then you'd have to take it all the way up here, right? Which might not be a problem, but you know, chances are you probably don't want to be going this high up the fretboard, particularly on acoustic. So a different one then. So if you take your A minor shape, again, with the first finger free, A sharp, B, no B sharps, so C, C sharp, D minor. Okay, so then next thing onto the majors then. So if you want an F chord, let's say, you just take your E major shape, so just A minor up a string, shift it up one, there's F, G, G sharp, A. And again, if you want D, you know, it's got to be all the way up here, which is not ideal. So if you just take A, so this one is a little bit odd. So we were talking about how if you bend your finger in this way, and you want that on the first string, just to block it, because if you're holding that one down, that's a 6 chord. So more on those variations later. So why is, just for now anyway, why is that a 6? Obviously it's this note here, right? So there's an A note there in the A chord, so we would call that note of 1. So if I go up the scale, and again we'll get into what the scales are in a second, but just now, just to get the idea across, you've got, there's A, so we'll call that 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So A6 is just an A with a 6 in it. All right, so then, yeah, so you bend your finger over that way so that it kind of lifts off the first string. There's C, B, G, or D, sorry, D sharp, E major. Okay, so other than that then, a couple of oddball ones. We had C major 7, so there's C, C major 7. Again, because there's C, there's note of 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then we had A minor add 9. So that's 5th fret on the G string, 7th fret on the D string, open everything else, leave out the 6th. So basically, you know, for that, if you want to just add a bit more drama to a standard A minor chord, replace it with that. Same with E minor, let's say. You replace it with this, that's E minor add 9. So instead of both of them being on the 2nd fret like that, this one stays on the 2nd fret, 4th string up to the 4th fret, little finger. Okay, so, and there'll be more of those coming up, but as I said, we'll do it in a more systematic way instead of, you know, that's just a couple of random ones just to kind of wet the whistle on the sort of fancy chord front. But yeah, so we'll get into a bit more of that later on. So there's just a couple to get going with. So the pentatonic scale. So with that one, so you already know the scale, but it's all about just taking it up and finding where to put it. So that's the same process as finding how to get an E minor up to where it's an A minor or a B minor or something like that. You're doing the exact same thing, because down here, open third, open second, 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 third, third. That's the E minor pentatonic scale, because it starts with an E note, right? So if you just take that whole thing, let's say you want G minor, E, no E sharp, so F, F, F sharp, F sharp, G, sorry. So then from there, Okay? And then, as you pointed out as well, you've got that sort of blues box type shape just above that, right? So let's say if we take it to A minor. Now that blues box is just a kind of a step above this one, right? The top of this scale is the bottom of that box, right? So if we take this, so we've got the A minor pentatonic here. So if we take that up by 2 frets, there it is. Okay, so there's that's just how it's done. D minor, let's say. So we know this is A already. So A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. Okay, so there's the pentatonic, and then we'll get into some phrases and how to put things together, and as well knowing how to play over a specific chord, not just in a specific key. But for now, just up and down on the pentatonic scale, sort of mess around with it. Think, where's the G sharp minor pentatonic? Let's say, 4th fret. Okay, so then we had a couple of strumming variations as well. So we've got the first idea is just not necessarily hitting all the strings, right? So if we do that kind of calypso pattern. So that's another thing as well. Now this works better with a harder plec because you really want that bit of pressure, right? But just come right back about an inch up from the bridge. Works particularly well with the E minor or any chord that has a lot of open strings in it. Has a nice kind of twang to it. Adds a bit of drama. Another thing as well, just while we're on the subject, is this, which I'm not sure if we touched on this. Okay, so what that is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Generally on the third of every 4 beats, or every 4 downs, let's say, right? So what you're doing is you're coming in, you are strumming it, but you're strumming it in a way that turns your wrist onto the strings, right? So you end up with the strings about there, kind of on your wrist. Okay? So that's just another thing as well. Now this, make sure that this is one motion, right? It's not, it's not strum down, then go in. You strum in such a way that you turn your wrist into it. Okay. All right, so that's plenty to be getting on with now anyway. And as I said, I know it's a bit scattered, but next week it'll all be a lot more focused and kind of, doing specific things. So see how you get on with all that for the week anyway, and I'll talk to you soon.